William. He's got Mercury right in front of him. He's looking, I think, at a thief.
That's a yes, but it's someone with a major agenda.
This is a dangerous person. They're trying to get in. They can't do anything.
Each week, Val and Amber make royal predictions and track breaking news headlines.
When Pluto is in a nice aspect and it's in Aquarius, that means the release or escape of people being liberated. Look at what's in the middle of that. We've got Venus, which is females. Neptune is like a disguise. It could be a hijab, and they are going their own way.
This is, you could see as a peaceful protest. You could see it's someone standing up for beliefs and equality.
Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, March 22nd, 2026. I'm Astrologer Val Evans. We've got Amber here in the studio. What in the world is happening with Duchess Meghan and Prince Harry? We also have a new shock for King Charles and much, much more. Mercury and Jupiter are gaining strength, and that makes communication much easier. You could have fooled me in general. We're happy about that. We are looking forward to May predictions today. We're going to talk about all kinds of topics, but a few that are a little shocking that even I couldn't believe myself when I was looking at the chart. And that's coming up in the next 8 weeks for the royal family. And thanks for working with us on the change of time. There were a couple of changes there. Here we are, the breaking news. Predictions for May 2026. I'm going to give the April 2026 predictions for the US, what's happening with the war, Donald Trump. This is long overdue, but during Mercury retrograde, it just didn't feel like the right time for me to come out and discuss what's happening in the next couple of months. This is going to be a shocker. This is a pre-show I've got. I happen to be thinking about the 90s, and because a lot of us are these days, and I had forgotten that I had been held up 2 times by people with knives, with weapons. In my 96-97 solar return chart, you can see it. On one of the occasions, it was a group of women. So I thought it'd be interesting to just go through my solar return chart and take a look. I just had to give a shout out to Inga. Unbelievable gifts. She sent 2 and they are handmade and she doesn't even sell them. So I couldn't believe it. Thank you so much, Inga, and I hope you can join us today. I was just in shock. It's like Neiman Marcus quality, really. And another thing I wanted to mention really quickly, I'm going to shout out to some of my Libra risings. Well, my 6th house is packed right now, and I'm seeing a lot of different things that reflect the 6th house, which is a lot of chores, responsibilities, being very organized, also pets. Without even recognizing this, I lined up a bunch of doctor's appointments, which would be a lot of Pisces there. And I wanted to mention to you about the pets. Somebody heard that I will watch some pets while they go on cruises, and the word has expanded to cruisers who need someone to watch their pets. I'm right outside of Galveston, and that's Pisces, which would be cruising people, talking about cruises, talking about the schedules of the cruises, and the 6th house representing pets. With Mercury, it can be small pets. Pisces, it can be lost pets. And with Saturn in the 6th house, it can, in Aries, it can mean maybe black pets who are angry. So I just wanted to show you real quick. This is Maggie, who I found crawling up, I kid you not, my driveway. And she is a pup. She's just born, basically. I scooped her up and tried to figure out where she was from. And apparently somebody down the street had a litter of them and she escaped. The cutest. I've never seen that happen in my life before. There's the black pet who she's quite angry with me. Let's just say that. So she has come into my environment along with almost a dozen pets. So So funny that that's happening. I'm going to go over the weekly chart now with Amber. What do you think about all those pets? Is that a good sign?
I think it's a beautiful sign. The little puppies are so cute. They're finding you.
We're looking at the weekly chart for world predictions. Then we will deep dive into the royals. Are you seeing anything, feeling anything for this coming week or for the show?
Well, I do have some stuff for the show, but for the week ahead, I attempted to pull my own weekly solar chart. And I have to just say, maybe the chat has the same sense. You learn as much as you can about the aspects. And then the minute I see a T-square, I just pause and I think, how can I prepare for this? And what would Val do? So I'm a little hesitant about my week ahead. There might be some challenges, but it does make me feel prepared versus scared. I think that's my motto.
You just know to be a little bit cautious and more scrutinizing, I suppose.
Or flexible.
And flexible. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it gives you a good indicator of when something doesn't feel right. There's probably a reason for that, especially if you see that T-square. I just want to mention too, if anyone is interested in a reading with Amber, email her, Taurus Moon Tarot at iCloud.com. And you offer 30, 60, and 90-minute readings. Any kind of readings that are popular right now?
A little bit more career, interested in career questions and, life purpose, essentially. Yeah, the love stuff is sort of a February thing.
This week, what are you thinking?
I have such an interesting message, and I feel it's around Meghan. I know we're going to look at May for her, but there is some kind of theme for her that has to do with second house luxury, potentially even I'm seeing hotels or beds or real estate if we go a little bit macro. But does she have a new venture that has to do with, I was thinking about hotel linens, branded linens for a high-end luxury hotel with her name on them.
Yes.
Or children's linens and clothing. And it was a strong message with these cards around that for her.
Okay. And I should also remind that we look at the charts for the royals, and sometimes it's positive for people who are not very popular, and it doesn't mean that we necessarily favor those people. It's just we're reading the charts of cards. There's not much we can say about it, so we generally don't favor one royal over the other. And the reason I say that is anytime that I have a Meghan show, I will lose subscribers. It doesn't do me any good to do these shows, but I'm interested. I want to know when a lot of things are happening, particularly with Meghan right now with Netflix issue in the news. Everyone's going back and forth. Who quit? Who broke the partnership? Was it all meant to be? We want to know those things. And Mother Katie, evening, Val and Amber, so good to see you again today. Looking forward to what is coming in for us this week. Thank you. Hopefully going to jail. I don't know who you're talking about. And Penny, hi from Denmark. Glad you're with us. Martha Stewart's in the news a lot. You know what? Speaking of Martha Stewart, one thing I notice are that people who like to garden or have gardens tend to do very well for themselves. They have what it might not be financial abundance. There's some kind of abundance. And so I need to work on my gardening, I think. Are you a good gardener?
I have moments of being a good gardener. I get into moments where I can do well and then I fall off. And I have a good indoor plant love. Outside, I'm not good.
The face painter in 2024, Meghan applied for several trademarks in Australia. She was granted them. Okay, so that might reflect in her chart. People need to calm down about, and we don't know her or any of the rest of the royals. Good and bad, everyone, for the most part. Don't forget to hit the like button if you like this kind of content. Yeah, so we got the weekly chart. We are into the Sagittarius area. And what do? We start the week with a new chart and we read each house, the first 6 usually, for the next 6 days. And every house is a day. If the house is intercepted, in other words, if there are 2 signs, then there's going to be in that day 2 quite potentially different energies. Different things that come in. Sometimes we even have 3 signs in one day. So we try to keep a lookout for that. So Jupiter's going to be activating here. And Jupiter, let's see, it's Sunday. For the most part, it looks pretty good here. It looks pretty good for somebody. A lot of Pisces that's activating here. We've got oil, we've got hospitals, nurses, hotels. And it's funny that you were talking about hotels, Amber, but there's something that it's like a famous artist that's coming out. And it could be a famous person. And I've been seeing a lot of De Niro lately because he really wants this No Kings March to, and that's going to be on Saturday. Saturday.
28?
Yeah, the 28th. So we're going to see a lot of people coming out, famous artists. We're going to be seeing the blue states, a lot of blue. We're also going to be seeing, it's possible today too, and this starts at midnight. So each day starts at midnight. So we're getting into probably around still the Sag time frame. So we definitely want to look at Jupiter, and this can mean a famous college, a bridge. It can represent trains and education, but it's also the U.S. And what is everybody looking at the U.S. like right now? I imagine Black Moon Lilith, which is a little nefarious here, and that's coming in. It's like what are we being called? Maybe thieves, oil thieves. Just things that disappear that are maybe illegal. And so I better not get too far into that, but we'll save that till tonight.
Yeah.
But anyway, then we're going to get into the second house, which is usually the financial house. And Saturn is going to really kick in here. And there is, for the most part, it is looking really good. Like, there's a lot of might that is being reported with regard to the military. We've got, and what I've got a list here. What does the military or the Aries represent? Weapons, metal, tools, construction, sports, military, police, and even the fire department, because it's a fire sign. And my question to you is, this might even be a sports figure that we're going to see this week. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see news about a sports figure?
It's a yes with that Ace of Swords. So to be possibly a female athlete, that's a fire sign too with that Seven of Wands.
And how do we know that? Because there's Venus there. This is a female athlete. It doesn't look real positive for the female athlete, but there's also memories about someone. It could be maybe the death of an old athlete. Are we talking about maybe an athlete that we're going to be celebrating in that kind of sense this week?
So interesting. You said a memory, and this holding the head is, this is definitely something that's difficult. That's a painful memory. There's a painful memory. Yeah, it is. Look, just to confirm it, that swords. It's like a sadness around them.
Yeah, some kind of memory there. Somebody's getting paid because of the second house there. That's a lot of money. You've got this flow of energy, this it could be something about a famous hotel, maybe migrant hotels. And we've got this T-square going through the chart and pointed right at the rising sign. I think this might be ships stuck. We're getting more news about the Navy here. This is the Navy trying, and these are bad Navy ships squaring all of this Pisces. This is a group of bad ships with guns.
It made me think of the word pirate because Mercury is a thief on the sea.
Mercury and also Scorpio are the pirate types of signs and symbols. I want to say probably later Tuesday, something about ships being stuck. I think it's going to be a big news story.
Yes, it is definitely. And, look at this person in the raging water behind him.
Let's really address what's going on right now with travel. TSA shut down. Now, ICE, particularly, I think in democratic states, it's affecting worldwide travel, and it's also affecting spring break worldwide. We've got students here who are in the news. Jupiter represents students in a sextile to the moon. That is, students become famous because they want to go to the coast. They want to go to the beach. So this week, we're going to be seeing a lot of those students going to the beach. Why does Jupiter represent students? Because it is the Lord of Sagittarius, which represents education, schools. But we do have, oh boy, we've got a female student here. That comes in, it looks like on Wednesday. We've got Venus in Aries, and it looks like she can't get to where she wants to go. And we are going to hear about it. This is going to be probably Wednesday afternoon. Tell us about this female. Maybe she's vacationing or something.
It does remind me of the recent news with that student in Barcelona who was found in the water. This is definitely a student. That is the card of someone being a student to someone else, maybe around the professor. Oh, yes. And it's a female student. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to see how that plays out. We actually have a lot of nice aspects here. We've got people fighting and winning. And how do we know that people are fighting and winning? Well, if we have blue lines through planets in Aries, that's going to be somebody's winning here. I got to say, it looks like the US is winning, because this is the US, and then this is a win here. Neptune is a ship. Saturn is an old ship. We could even be just talking about ships that won in the past in history with regard to just general winning. It doesn't have to necessarily be about the US or the Navy or anything like that. Who is winning this week?
Let's see. I have one more thing about the ships that came out. This is something, things coming into balance. This is like equality. This is definitely something around equality. Who is it? Woo! Scorpio energy.
Uh-oh.
Is that Iran?
Yeah.
So one more thing around the ships. I don't know could you see it as a weather event that has the ships getting stuck?
Why do we think about the weather? Well, we're always looking at Mercury. Mercury is going to decide the weather. And when Mercury is in a poor aspect, it means the weather is unhappy. So where is the weather unhappy? Well, this is most definitely precipitation. Usually when we see Black Moon Lilith in the mix, it's kind of like unrelenting and it's extreme. We're already seeing flooding with Oahu. This could be some kind of flooding with maybe an island or something like that. And we're probably going to hear much more about it. So I'm going to say maybe Hawaii or the beaches. There's going to be flooding with the beaches maybe, and also some rain probably in the Tuesday afternoon time frame.
Yeah.
I put that little redhead there. There's the redhead. We're going to see a redhead this week. That's Venus in Aries in opposition to Libra. Now, this could also be a female lawyer because of Libra. Libra's contracts, lawyers. You could be seeing a woman who is just cutting her contract. And if you really take a look closely, you can see there's a T-square here. It almost sounds like Meghan, where there's a contract that was ended. But Saturday, and this is how we're going to do it. So the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, the calendar here with the crown. This is the No Kings March. It's coming in, and Mercury is going to rule that. And so here we go with Pisces and the hotels and the hospitals. There might even be a lot of blue signs. These are blue states. We're going to see blue, 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 blue. Then a trine to Jupiter in Cancer. Cancer means fame. Jupiter means lots of famous people. Wow. I just got chills thinking about it. This is going to be historic and momentous. But when it's in poor aspect, and it is, there is danger here. Oh, there is danger. This is not good. This could be with Pisces. I don't want to say poison, but a lot of times this is gas. Protesters, they might be wearing, hopefully they're going to bring their gas masks, but this could be quite an issue in the streets. The third house is the streets. What are you thinking?
Could it be smoke from a
fog?
Or fog? It's a yes. I mean, that's a yes. And it costs something. You know why I have that? And then I also have some more Neptune energy, and you might see a very young presence. Like it might be overwhelmingly young people.
And I also labeled the banks too, with the moon in Taurus and a square to Pluto. We've been talking about some cybersecurity issues. The banks are in some trouble. And that could come as early as Monday here, and then also on Thursday. But it's a zap. So we're going to look real quick at King Charles's decade chart. And how would you do that? You put in your information, your birthday, but you're going to put in 2020 or whatever decade you're looking at, and then your birth time, and then the city that you were in when you celebrated your birthday in 2020. So here is King Charles's decade chart. So much has happened already. I'm going to get to where we are right now, but I just want to make a couple of points here. Right around this time frame when Queen Elizabeth passed, this was in the Virgo time period. And Virgo, or the Virgo Lord, is Mercury. It's right here. And look at how there's a T-square that's going through Uranus, showing a complete shock. But what is Mercury? Mercury is 2, right? So we had 2 shocks. We had the one in the Virgo time frame. Each house is a year in the decade chart. As Virgo was coming in here, not only would Queen Elizabeth pass, but then Spare would come out. So it was 2 shocks. With Scorpio, it's kind of like an inheritance shock. There might be shocks behind the scenes of betrayal that we don't know about with that inheritance. Also, it's the betrayal shock of Prince Harry. That's how they feel. So that was January 2023. And then once we got into the Libra time, which was closer to the coronation, remember this is King Charles's decade chart, Venus activates, and look at that nice blue line. Wow, this is gains, 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 and very, very nice. I can't remember what was happening at this point, but there is a square here with Saturn, and that is the death of a female. Might still be talking about Queen Elizabeth, the sadness. And what is the Lord of the IC for King Charles in this decade? It's Venus. So he's sad about mom. Venus represents mom. So I just wanted to show you that, how crazy that is in his decade chart. But now we're coming in, and this is right after I was talking about the sadness about mom and the death. Well, we are right in this area now. And it looks like there is another shock. This is a big one. And this is coming in, let's see, probably in the summer, if not starting in May. I don't think anybody is expecting this one because we weren't expecting what was happening with Queen Elizabeth. Yeah. That was a big shock. So what is this shock, do you think?
Oh, this is my Camilla card, or Fergie with that red hair.
Whoa. Okay. Fergie maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Fergie and the dogs.
So interesting. And a dog here on the card with the king or a wolf.
Yeah. She apparently, it's in the news. I'm not sure if it's true, but they're saying that Fergie potentially sell DNA of Queen Elizabeth's dogs. Oh, so yeah, that's a little out there. Something nobody would expect, that's for sure. Rose Designs Jewelry. Can I ask, if I wanted to look out for a good time to have all windows and doors replaced, what would you say, planet or house-wise, I should look at, please? Pisces and Neptune represents windows. I like when Neptune is forward and out of shade. So it's a strong window. And we also were seeing how Saturn and Neptune were conjunct for so long. And we were seeing themes of old windows and old locks in a variety of different cases that we were looking at. So now that Saturn is slowly moving out of that conjunction with Neptune, that's going to be good. I would wait until after Mercury goes fully direct. And it's always nice to have Neptune also direct. Thank you, Shauna. That's so nice of you. If you'd like to book one with me, or if you'd like to take a class, just go to astrologywithval.as.me. And don't forget to click the join button if you'd like to see some of the members only content. Yeah, there's a female. It looks like it could be another female that that passes, maybe a redheaded female. This little cluster here, that's the COVID cluster. It's in all of our decade charts for 2020. It almost makes me wonder, usually with COVID, you're going to see Leo, because that represents the coronavirus. Do you think we'll be seeing anything in the coming months that's kind of major about the royals and maybe the coronavirus? COVID.
That's in the upright. And it's lots of people in close proximity.
Yeah.
Maybe some kind of virus, potentially, yes.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not. Everybody's talking about the meningitis outbreak. A lot of people are nervous about it. Can you tell us, is the meningitis outbreak, is it going to get worse?
It's like one instance can cause a lot of pain. So yeah, there could be a spread of some kind. Is it airborne? Meningitis?
I think so. I think so.
Yeah. You know, those birds in younger people, there might be a spike in a younger demographic.
And we're seeing photos of a young female college student who died just recently of meningitis. So that could be part of that too. Poor King Charles, not looking well. It's difficult. This is Meghan's solar. A lot of different things happening for her in this solar return year, 25 to 26. It's Aquarius. So it's going to mean cutting. It's going to mean switching, changing, whether you like it or not. And what else was a shock in this year was that her dad the whole thing with his leg. Yeah. And so that was a big shock. Her father's health and amputations. That's Aquarius. Yes. So very, very difficult for her, changing gears a lot. Thankfully, though, because of all of these blue lines here, you'd be able to see that you had either support, you would have a plan B, that kind of thing. Now, if you were to look at her solar and birth this year, we've got an opposition, a Saturn opposing Saturn. So that means a no. No, you can't go that way. You're going to have to go another way. And so she's getting a lot of no's this year. If you want to pull your own solar return chart, you're going to go to AstroSeek and you're going to click the solar only tab after you click the solar return tab, not the solar and birth. And so where are we right now for her? We were talking about some anger that would be happening. And with Mars here, that it's coming in exactly on time, this T-square with Netflix. And we've got a lot of anger when you've got these aspects in place. This is, let's see, Sag is usually Netflix. Yeah, it could have come up here because Moon and Sag, there's a square here. There's another T-square with Sag. So that might have come up early May and we're just hearing about it now. But yeah, there's a lot of frustration here. But in your solar return chart, when you see something like that, doesn't mean that it's going to last forever. You're going to be moving on into another sign. And so now she's about into the Libra time frame, which represents your marriage, your relationships, your contracts. And so I see Venus here, and you could see, again, still kind of mad about the contract. But what do we like with solar returns? We like the vertex in a good aspect. It shows that you can weather the storm. Luck is on your side. It also might mean, I guess she's getting some things that are, some of her content is being bought by another company. So there's some things that she's potentially happy about that are coming in, maybe even another small contract, Virgo meaning small. But now we're going to be coming in to the Scorpio time frame. And that's going to be from April to May. Let's jump ahead and see what May looks like. This is the 10th house. So when you get to your 10th house in whatever calendar that you're looking at for your solar return, it is going to mean some very big things that are happening to you, particularly when you have planets in the 10th house for that year. She has a very benefic moon in Sag. This looks like, I'm just speechless here, because this is royalty. Somebody is asking for her help, or she's helping someone else. But this is someone it could be France. Maybe she's just going to France because of Leo, but Leo's also England. I'd say she's coming back to UK.
Mm-hmm.
But there is some kind of there's a new contract, and it is a contract with royals.
Oh.
That's what I'm seeing. It sounds ludicrous to me.
Right.
What do you think?
Oh my gosh. Do we want to know? Oh, yes. And this card represents a new opportunity in a career sense, in a project. But here's the other card that came right alongside of it.
Oh.
There's something about it. This is that devilish small fine print. There might be something around the fine print.
Could it be getting away with something?
It could be, but it has to do with contracts. That's Mercury, or maybe delayed. Yeah,
Maybe what?
Delayed. She may delay it.
Doesn't that card also mean something happens that's very swift? And maybe it's like suddenly like everyone's like, wait, what happened? And
Yes.
It's real fast.
Yeah.
And Jen, you're right. Her England trip is July 2026 for the Invictus Games, but I don't know. Maybe they're going over there again. Is Vertex like the fortune? Yeah, it could be. It could sort of like you get a get out of jail free card. We like in a solar return chart when you have a nice blue line to Vertex. It means you've got a guardian angel that year. At least from what I've seen anyway. Yeah, Haley, what about the MM Australia tour? That's a good question. So didn't she just come back from Australia? Let's see. The Face Painter was part of the bid for the game. Yeah, I'm sure security was part of the bid for the games. That's right. She's August early. And Jen had asked, do you think Meghan and Harry return to England this year for the Invictus events? Apparently the British government recently said they weren't going to give Harry any additional security. Something's happening there. It could be another king. And with that Mercury there, that is, first of all, it's a king that is weak. It's a group of weak kings who might need assistance with something, which sounds crazy, but she's helping them in some way. I don't know. And also with Sag, this could be very positive press. Yeah. Again, sounds kind of crazy because we're not for her. All right. So real quick, Prince Harry's solar return chart. We've got, and of course, we start the chart with his birthday, as you would with yours. So that's his birthday, the rising sign. And we make every house a month. And so now we're coming into this time frame, which is, it's all about Meghan really because of the 7th house of partnerships, and doesn't look entirely easy. But then Aries really starts to kick in here. This is probably the first week of April. Now, since I said this is a May prediction, I should probably move ahead here to Taurus and see where Venus is, because Venus rules Taurus. And Venus also represents Meghan. Wow. I didn't see this before. Venus squaring Uranus. This could be something unexpected for her, although well aspected in some ways. It almost looks like maybe she's sick. And this is in the May timeframe. What's going on with Meghan in May?
This looks like she's doing something enjoyable. This is her at a sporting event, perhaps. Some kind of outdoor, it's kind of exposed in a way. But I see it's in the 12th house, which is really interesting. Yeah, that same card. This is her maybe it's like maybe an announcement.
She could be at a sports type of event, but they're most definitely, it's like Meghan gets shocked.
Mhm.
She's definitely not expecting what's going to happen, maybe at this game, or could it be her title?
Well, it's something that she's not happy about. She might not be happy. This is a big
Yeah.
disappointment, but it's also coming with that Knight of Swords where something comes in really fast and it's swift and severe. This could even have to do with security. It reminds me of their Netflix where they were in that car saying people were chasing them through the streets or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that would be Uranus. Yeah, something unexpected there. So I don't know. I think they're going to stick together. I think they've got a good relationship, but who could hold down, a stable relationship with anyone with all of that bullying? And I almost think that that's one of the reasons that people bully them, is so that they will divorce. I don't think so, though. I think now Leo is back heartbreak. So there's some kind of heartbreak there, and it might be that she's very upset about something that's happening in the news, and maybe she's going to a hospital to console people, because the 12th house is, you could see, that's a hospital. So she could be, there's something happening with little kids coming up, and I think it's really going to affect her. So I think that's a possibility there. I hope not. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. And thanks for following us, even though we're not on our usual Friday afternoon time, but definitely check us out next Friday. And don't forget my shows tonight. Hope to see some of the members on my members only show. And thank you so much, Amber, for joining us. We'll see you next week.
See you next week.